What's up, everybody? Back here for another episode of the Pitside podcast. We're at episode 77. It's been a little bit of a crazy timeline for us, lots going on, but we're back with a special episode. Going to talk a little bit about the special event we've got coming up, and then we're going to sit down with our newest broadcaster, Patrick Morrison of SimTrax Broadcasting. He's a pretty interesting guy. Got a lot of NASCAR insight as well. So we'll catch up with him here in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Pitside Podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the Coast2Coast Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Here's your hosts, the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman, Craig.
Yep, so we're back, episode 77. It's between the summer and the last month or so. We've been pretty slammed between the two of us, no?
Oh, yeah, it has. And just as you said, episode 77 just occurred to me, it's always too late. We should have Bob Light on tonight.
I know. It's why we shouldn't check the number right before we start recording.
I know. Bob is on that short list. We got to get him on. So, but anyways, yeah, we were slammed. And, and I'm talking to the new bionic Preston Cranmer.
Yeah.
So how's that hip going, buddy?
You know what? I couldn't be more shocked. I mean, it's what they told me was going to happen. I mentioned this on here before. I had a particular surgery where it's supposed to make the recovery time as little as possible. And I had surgery 2 weeks from today. We're recording this on Thursday. We've been September 29th. And within 3 days, I was driving. I was walking within 2 hours. I'd done 3 flights of stairs and gotten in and out of their little practice car. Told me once I could stab the brakes, then I was good. So I used my rig to test that. Made sure I could get in the brakes real good, and then went got in the car and drove. And you know what? Other than that, it's been easy. I've had a couple of days where been a lot of pain, a lot of times when I've been pushing it the day before, that kind of thing. But I'm getting close to walking normal. The limp I've had for the last 3 years or so is pretty close to start. I mean, it's fading away at least.
How far did you walk today?
Not today, but yesterday I walked 1.5 miles, just shy of that. And I hurt like crap for the rest of the day. I felt great while I was walking, but once I sat down, I got real stiff and everything. And I hurt. I came home and I actually just slept because I hurt pretty good. And still hurt a little bit this morning, and then through the day it's just kind of faded away. And I really feel like I'm close to normal at this point. Like it's been a big difference, and I know tomorrow I might hurt again, but it's trending in the right direction. It's been a real positive thing. There's been little things I didn't even know I had trouble with. I've told a lot of people I took a shower. I had to take a shower every day to stave off infection, that kind of thing. And within the first couple of showers, I just turned around to grab the bar of soap, and I didn't realize that used to be difficult for me. Like I was shuffling around in the shower because I was trying not to fall. And it's just not a thing anymore. And I didn't even realize I was doing that. So it's changed my life in a lot of ways. And I know, as I continue to recover and that kind of thing, it's going to be even bigger. So it's been awesome. I appreciate everybody's thoughts. A lot of people have just messaged me to see how I was doing, or we've been talking about something else and they'd stop the conversation just to see how I was doing. And I really appreciate that. Just speaks to kind of the community we've got, because there are a lot of guys I've had incidents on the track with that have checked on me, right? So it's nice.
Yeah. So that's amazing. My mom had her hips replaced. I think both times she was in the hospital for well over a week. I think like 10 days or something. So you were home that day. Like that's absolutely astounding. So great news on that front. I expect you to be back to being a front runner again, and there's no excuses now, buddy.
Well, I had one that first week. I didn't realize on Monday what a rough night I had until the pit notes came out, and I had to go on a little bit of an apology tour. I actually still have one to make, but I think I was probably not as ready as I thought I was. But I've it's coming around, that kind of thing too.
Still amazing, man. That's still amazing that you're in a rig racing just like within a week.
It is crazy. I probably shouldn't have been, but you know what? It's worked out, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. So hey, buddy, tonight midnight is the deadline for the discount. The advance for our world final. Our world final's coming up this coming Friday, and we still we're as usual, we're a little bit low on the sign up. Um, I want to make sure we hit at least, if I can hit 50, we'll keep it within the Dirt Alliance, but I need those guys signed up, or I'm gonna have to, we're the goal is to make money for Mission 22, and
Absolutely.
if we have to, we will go outside of Friday Night Lights and Coast to Coast to get those. It's not something we really want to do. There'll probably be a lot of ringers show up for $1,500. Um, uh, so sign up, please. And I think you had a bit of a promo for that to try to inspire guys to get their butts out of their chairs and
Yeah, well,
go call to action.
I've been ramping up my Epsilon Sprint Wraps business. Things have kind of calmed down a little bit enough so I could get back into that. We've talked about a couple of times. We formed a team, and that's been going really well. We actually had a referral come from that. So Jeff Kemper was out on track last week in a new Epsilon Sprint Wraps, which is exciting. You mentioned when we were talking to Patrick trying to push me to the win. I had actually done everything I could. I wanted Kemper to win that first night in that truck. So what I want to do is for anybody that signs up between today, which is Sunday, that deadline that Roger was mentioning, and Wednesday night. So I don't know what the exact date there would be. I think that would be the 19th. So if you sign up between those 2 days for the Dirt Track Alliance event that we're having, and you're a member, and you're a member of one of those leagues, which is obviously Coast to Coast Racing League or Friday Night Lights. So it's not exclusive to Coast to Coast. So if you're watching this and part of Friday Night Lights, this is for you as well. If you want to have one car wrapped, I'll give you $5 off. If you want all three, then I'll give you 3 for the price of 2. So I charge $40 a wrap. So that's there for you to take. I want to try to make as much money for Mission 22 as we can as well. And I hadn't mentioned this to Roger, but if you go out and win the whole thing, I'll give you your money back. So there's money to be had and possibly free wraps. So guys, take advantage of it. If you want new wraps, now's the chance you get a discount, right? So I'm here to help you out. Want to encourage as many signups as we can.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So we've got a great guest coming on, so I don't want to talk too long now. We'll talk more afterwards about the World Finals if you want more details. But the one thing I do want to mention is, it's $1,500. We've already, congratulations to Peter Breeze. I hope I'm saying, Peter, I hope I'm saying your name right. He won the $100 in the bonus early bird draw. And kudos to Peter. He donated half of that back to Mission 22. So thank you for that. Yeah, very much appreciated. So the one thing, when you're entering, a few guys have just entered one division, but there's another $1,400 out there. There is payout of $200 for each of the 3 divisions. So that's a total of $600. But then there's $800 is paid out for your total points, like the combination. And we paid down to position 25, when we totaled that up. So I think first place is 250, and I'm not sure, I could look at it, but I'm not going to get in those details. But the point is, $800 of that money is coming out of the combination. So if you're like me, I don't run dirt mods very often. I rarely run pro late models, but I'm going to enter them all, because just to add to my point accumulation. I'm kind of thinking there's, if you enter all 3, you got a hell of a chance of, having a payday. So, check it out, and we'll talk about this in more detail. But make sure you sign up, guys. This is the biggest event we've ever had, and it's 7 days, and it's going to be awesome.
It does kind of crack me up, because we've always, and for good reason, always said, we're not a money league kind of thing. We've had the off money prize here or there, but we're doing it big for the first one. I mean, that's a lot of prize money to pay out. There are certainly a handful of bigger events, but not many, right? This is a big prize for a lot of guys.
No, and the game changer was, I got a huge shout out to Joe Halter. Joe, we've been great partners running these 2 divisions and or 2 leagues, and he came to me with their Track Bank is one of his sponsors. And he came to me with, the funds. So, that's why we've got this big payout, and I just can't say enough about it. The other one thing I want to mention, too, before we go away, is we also have a special team sponsorship. So I know Salty Dogs is sponsored. Gamblers stepped up so far. It's $200. Well, it's $100 for one division. It's $200 for all three. But what that gets you, number one, all that money goes to Mission 22, and all registrations go to Mission 22. So all of that money is going. We've already got the prize money set aside. So this is all bonus. So if you got a team, $200, that guarantees you a provisional for a team member in every one of those races. So say, well, I'll use Kreitz. Say Kreitz Sim Racing, two of you is qualified, then whoever's, you guys could designate the third, or it most likely would be the person who's registered they'd have to be registered, but the next person registered that would have made it, they would get that
Right.
provisional. So, like I said, the two teams have already stepped up. That's $400 for Mission 22. So we're challenging Salty Dogs and Gambler Motorsports are challenging all teams to match those. So get a hold of me, get a hold of Joe Halter, and we'll set you up. So that, and just the last thing we got to have it. We were supposed to have Joe Halter on this show to talk about that, but he's got this. I don't know if you've seen the videos.
I've watched them, yeah.
Joe is going racing, and he's driving the word escapes me right now, the legend type cars. But
man,
that's terrible. So I'll think of it as soon as I'm finished talking about it. But
yeah.
he's bought one, and like he knows nothing about racing. Like he doesn't know. Guy gave him setup sheets. He doesn't even know what they mean. So I've told him reach out to Barker and Bob the Good and a few guys who will and he's so excited. I'm excited for him because he's living my dream too. He just went out and bought this car. He's going to figure out how to race it with he's got his dad involved and his son involved. So and he's got a whole like a vlog thing going to that. We will be posting those on the podcast. But anyways, we got this great guest coming on. Patrick's been a great addition to the league, and we should roll over to that, and then we'll talk more about the World Finals after that.
Yeah, so we'll be back here in just a few minutes, but make sure you stay tuned. Like I said, great interview here, and we'll be back in just a few.
Yep. And we are here with our very first guest of the fall season, and it's none other than our newest broadcaster, Patrick Morrison. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, bud. Just came off a Thursday Night Thunder series, and what a wild race it was, and a series it's become here. Really, it's something crazy.
So the interesting thing I've been watching you is we threw you into the fire because you are an asphalt guy, and
Yes.
We found out very quickly you're game for anything, and you're up to any challenge. I think the first night. It was like 5 o'clock at night. We decided we were going to do it or something, and you took it on. So it's been interesting watching you as you're learning all the intricacies of the dirt side of the world.
Oh yeah, definitely the lingo. Kind of getting up into the marbles, kind of the top shelf sort of thing. Devo Ross, getting into stickers, Nick Vickery. Kind of how everybody gets called around there, and then I get into the first NASCAR run, and I get to see, Preston here get sent to the moon, after flipping the wall. So
yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Oh no, yeah. I've got a short ready for you on that one. I have no fear. I got one ready. It's gonna be you flying in the air, man. I thought that was what the hip injury was about.
No. Yeah. We got a good laugh. We had just thrown our new paints on that week because we were kind of forming the team up at that point. So we got a good laugh about how good my paint looked in the sun. I was a little closer than most people, but
okay. Yeah,
that was wild.
That was, but man, good car counts though, especially the NASCAR. Those guys are showing up, especially 410s, the midget series. I think I've done Monday Night Madness. I've had you guys, so I mean, it's really taken off here working with you guys at the Coast2Coast Racing Network.
Well, and you've been a great addition. You've been filling in. I think have you done a Hometown Heroes? Maybe that's the only one you haven't done.
Nope, haven't done that one.
No, you've covered all the others, and
yep.
It's been a crazy beginning of this season with broadcasters, subbing for each other. But it's exposed. I guess the benefit is exposed you to a lot of the different divisions, and and we're really glad to have you on board. But hey, buddy, we need to get to know a little bit about who's Patrick Morrison, and what's he all about? What's the background here? So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
The way I look at it, man, I just it's nothing too crazy. I just say I'm a 30-year-old, auto technician who works on Chrysler vehicles. I got into iRacing because, man, I don't know about you, price of fuel, price of tires, price of the car, and it started getting crazy. So I got into the the iRacing, trying to try it out, get pretty well out there on the asphalt. By the way, I'm no good at dirt, but I tried going out there on the asphalt, and you just get a good feel for how iRacing comes around. And then, here I am. I was looking for a sponsor. Somebody asked me to do some broadcast work. Bam, here I am making things happen. People said, I seem to have a knack for this, but it's nothing much. Just a Tennessee boy just trying to make it by.
So when you say the tires and all were getting expensive, were you racing?
I had a super late model car, but I was trying to get out there and trying to secure a sponsor, especially going out there brand new, and guys, they were just trying to make it by as well. I think this was right when COVID started hitting is where I picked up the car, got ready to get in, put tires on the track, and then it just, like I said, sponsor wasn't able to pick up. You come from a line of racing. My grandfather actually raced with Petty, Yarborough, and Yaley, back in the day. Yeah, back in the old dirt days. So he used to race, very close to the inside while everybody raced on the outside, in the big block heavy cars. So he kind of had a general idea of what to do, but it's just whether it worked out, I don't know. But yeah, I come from a line of racing, just a little unfortunate, unable to get out onto the track for real.
Well, when you say you don't know about Roger or I, neither of us are running super lates. I've just started karting. I don't know if you've caught any of that, but you are in the minority in our league for the most part of guys that have actually been on the track, I think.
Yeah.
We do have quite a few, but...
No, yeah, we do have quite a few.
Yeah. Now, I will admit, I did do the Richard Petty experience sort of thing, and I went to my favorite track at Charlotte, and it got to the point it was kind of like a lead-follow kind of sort of deal, and the guy got out and asked me, hey, man, have you ever raced before? I said, not professionally. He says, dude, you really need to get into it. So, all right, man, maybe there's something, because he was telling me, man, we had to... I got him barking over my ear, telling me, you got to slow down. You can't go any faster. And I figured worst case scenario, I can bump him. I mean, now they make somebody ride with you now. So, man, it was a really an experience for sure.
So we won't get into it on this episode, but it sounds like you might have some stories from back in the day with Petty and all those guys.
Actually, I was going to say, my grandfather passed away before I was born, and my mom was pretty little during that. I've got pictures, though, him, we both bald the same, things like that. So he was quite the guy. I really wish I could have had a chance to talk to him to know what all he had going on, because I heard he was one heck of a racer. He taught a lot of guys how to get going. I believe the Wood brothers is who he worked with them as well. So
that's excellent.
So what was his name?
Gaylord Saxton. So yeah, he kind of on the lower end. You didn't hear about him much there until later on. So
that's wild, man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
He rode the 75 and I believe the 32. So those were he had like little Model A's, kind of Model T looking cars, kind of running toward the inside. I mean, back where they were using, coffee cans as overflow jugs, so things like that. So, yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely something, man.
So how about when you kid growing up and stuff? Like, did you get to the track, or is this just something when you got into your 20s and stuff you started following?
Started getting a knack for it. You just, I don't know. I feel the car, but not like some of these other guys on iRacing. Some of these guys they're almost built for this. I can't. I have a rig that kind of moves around a little bit, and I've got, the seat belts. I got the the seat that moves, things like that. But it's I don't know. I can I can tune the car as long as I can feel the car. And some of these guys, I don't know how they do it with pedal, wheels, and a chair. And man, I can't I can't do it for the life of me, trying to figure out how to get the car to turn on iRacing. But it's something.
So you're telling me you got a full motion rig?
Yes.
That's wild. So how long have you been broadcasting then?
Actually, I believe since February. I mean, honestly, for Simtrax itself, I think we're going on just about 2 months, and we've already got 100 subscribers. Everything else, we started picking up a lot of steam, getting going there. I started with another broadcast company, and like I said, there are always your differences, and things go a different way. And I think it was a mutual decision. It was okay, and I started my own broadcast company, and here we are. But yeah, about February, so I would say probably 6-8 months. So and not too much. A lot to learn. I will admit that, right? It's a lot to learn between, and Preston, you would know, between the Streamlabs and being able to get the transitions and really give something for people to watch. It's not just, kind of lock onto a car and then just go. We got to make sure we get the ads going in there, make sure, we give her good shout outs to the race sponsors. And to me, from the outside, I really like having the opportunity of getting everybody on the broadcast. It's not always just the top three. The guy who's running back in 18th, he may be trying his best out there, and this isn't his track, but it's his chance to get his time. I know I've been broadcasted before, and you're like, there he is, or I saw the edge of his car, and I really want to make sure everybody's got a heck of a chance, and not when they're not when they're wrecking out or something,
flying through the air,
pieces.
Yeah.
Though makes for a good highlight reel, though.
Sure.
Well, it's been really interesting too. I know you've opened up with Marty, and you guys have played well off each other, and I think that's been good too, because Marty brings that dirt cadence, which is it opens a lot of guys' eyes, and it's been really, really good. I think one of the strengths of our league is how our broadcasters work together, and partner together, just like the league. It's a community, and everybody supports each other, and it's not a competition. It's been really, really good. You fit in really, really well, and really appreciate all that stuff for sure.
And do want to give a shout out there to John Hine. He helped me out right at the beginning, try to let me know you might want to check out the lumps up at the top of the track. Oh, I didn't think about that. I said, okay, that's a good idea, and you kind of get that right front image and kind of see how the bumps are going through the track, and really. Yeah, I mean, like I said, shout out there to John Hine as well, helping me out right there at the beginning. But Marty's high intensity. He knows he gets going, man. I say he's almost like he calls it like a horse racer would. He do.
I know,
and he gets going. So he's pretty fast.
I'm waiting for the night they got to pull his tongue out from his throat, because he almost swallows it a few times, I think. So but it's all been really good. And yeah, what you say about John Hine, I remember when you first came in, and we put Hine in the booth, and we asked if you wanted a color guy, and I said he's just going to be quiet until you ask to use him. He's good that way. But John is he's been really helpful for a lot of our broadcasters and developing some of our color commentators. So it's been really good.
And he was racing at the same time. That's also something else to keep in mind. He was racing at the same time. So.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I tried that once. I can't do commentary. I can tell you how my race is going, but I'm focused. He does a good job of keeping an eye on what he's doing and what other people are doing at the same time.
Oh yeah. So one of the things I find interesting is I listen to their broadcast usually when I'm racing well, just to know when to advance if I'm admitting or whatever. But I'm finding, especially with the asphalt stuff, listening to the broadcast, because I'm getting tips as we go along. It's kind of like so I don't know if Hine's done it with you in the dirt, but he would usually go out during qualifying if he's not racing, and he would comment on what to look for, and I've picked up tips there. But it's also like now in the asphalt stuff, I'm hearing a few tips and pointers, and then I think, okay, I don't. You're talking about, and I know this is basic, and people are probably saying, "Are you clueless?" But you're talking about saving fuel the other night and using the clutch, and I know that'll save fuel, but I still don't know that. I thought, okay, I need to work on that. Go back and
you're gonna knock that off, Patrick.
Yeah.
Well, I try to leave people's pit strategies out of it. I used to broadcast, and people would listen to the broadcast behind them and go, oh man, that guy only took 2 tires. I got a short pit too. So I would totally ruin the wreck. So if I put him in camera, I go, well, that's an interesting pit strategy, and leave it at that.
That's
Anything,
gracious
man.
of you. I will tell you, it's actually something I've learned to love about like kind of iRacing. You don't get that from other racing, but that there is like that every little advantage you can get. I will tell you, and I'm not going to mention what, but Terry and I were practicing some sprint car stuff the other night and picked up on something that we had never tried before, and it works great. So like, but if that got broadcast, we're going to give it away. But I think it's cool to be able to kind of listen to that and get a little tip or two. Next race, I'm going to need you to mention at some point that Roger's car is very damaged and he needs to pit. Just probably about halfway through the race. That'd be helpful.
Oh yeah, the 747 going down, baby.
Yeah. No, I've been lucky the last 2 weeks on pit strategy, and had enough fuel to get to the end. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think you placed third in the last race.
Yeah, you pulled off a podium.
Yeah, well, miracles happen. Yeah, so Preston, you don't know this, but you were up near the front. I was running 8th with 2 to go.
I do know that.
Yeah, and then I found, well, Steve Bixler was in front of me, and he's one of the salty dogs. So if I want to win that bone, I got to get past him. So I thought I'm not going to get past him running low. I get up high, and then I saw you were ahead. I was trying to catch up to push you onto victory, and then of course all hell broke loose, and you were gone, and I just lucked out and got a podium. One of those very rare, dinosaur moments. But anyways, it's but yeah, I was up there because I was trying to give you a push, and I was starting to catch you. I would have been there for the finish line, but you weren't.
I was close. I was real close. I was really happy with my whole race up until that point because I had nailed the pitch strategy. I beat a lot of guys on pitch strategy, but that's racing. It happens.
Yeah. But yeah. So and the like you said, the NASCAR stuff. We ran a bunch of leagues the last few seasons on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and Friday afternoons, and we were having like pretty bad car counts. Like a good day would be 13 or 15, and that's what we expected,
Mm-hmm.
But we thought, okay, we'll run this on a Tuesday night and see. And like that first night, I think there was 31 or 34. I don't know. There was
37.
Yeah, we had 37 guys.
37 guys. Yeah, unbelievable. So and of course it's 37 mostly dirt guys on an asphalt track. We only use the asphalt to get to the track usually. So it was, but the guys are getting better, and I think you pointed out the other night on the broadcast, a lot of the accidents the other night were net code issues.
Yes.
And not to say it wouldn't have maybe happened anyways, because like if the guy was still heading for him, but they were net code. So I think things are getting better, and it's definitely an interesting division, and yeah, I look forward to Tuesday nights for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The asphalt did start out kind of difficult because you saw the guys who were used to dirt, they would dive into the turn so early, and you're like, oh no, and then fry that right front tire off and slide up the track. And no, guys, we don't slide up the track anymore. Kind of want to hug the track and go around, and or they think it's a heat race, and I got to win this thing in 8 laps. So the guy who's in 15th just turns into a bulldozer going through to the front, and I think that's how Preston got caught up in that one. But it's just people getting mashed to pieces. But then we ended up with 20 solid laps of solid green flag racing.
Yes,
these guys, you guys are starting to figure it out. They're starting to find that groove, find out who you can trust, who to follow, who not to go. And now you notice that racing's really starting to come into play. And really, it's a joy from up here, on the outside, watching down. You guys making the magic happen on the track is just. Everyone wants to see racing. Crashes are always good, but kind of bunch everybody back up. But the solid, clean racing, that's what people want to see, and really door to door is to me, that's what gets you. A guy can lead 4 seconds ahead, and okay, he's out there. But if I got the two of you guys right neck and neck, battling for 8th, that's where I want to see something's happening here. There's a chance of some serious injury, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a. Yeah, man. Really, the NASCAR that series right there for Tim Chapman Racing is really starting to open up. I mean, big time.
Yeah. It's been thoroughly enjoyable, and the nice part is, and I proved it. Some of the back runners, can luck out and finish on a podium.
Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty. It's a lot of the tracks too that we're running are like that. Like, I mean, you're running super speedways. It's a matter of being in the right place at the right time. So if you put yourself in a spot, you're not having to pass a bunch of guys at the end. Who knows? I think Richmond is going to be a little bit more interesting this coming week. I'm very excited for it being kind of my home track. Actually, my entire team's home track at this point, or my ESW team, I should say. So we're planning special stuff for that. But I wanted to ask Patrick, is there anybody in particular that's kind of stood out to you or impressed you or, made some good moves or anything? Or
Bob Light's wreck avoidance is top notch. I've made a couple of shorts of him so far of weaving through. He's just able to get there. Isaac Salas, he's a super fast driver, but he keeps getting caught up every time he gets toward the front. And then he gets wiped out. I mean, so we saw that in the 358s. He won tonight, but the Pro Late models, he got sent over the fence tonight and actually got wedged, over the wall. I mean, it's just there are a lot of the Chapmans, Zach and Tim. Those guys are super fast getting their way out there. And I noticed, Preston, when you follow when you follow Tim, I see you start kind of weaseling your way up toward the front, right behind him. Giving that car a push. So there are a lot of guys out there that are fast. But it's hard to pick out exactly one that stands out at this point. These guys, you can see who's raced asphalt. You can see the guys who are mostly dirt, but you can start finding the trust level between the drivers is starting to build. Okay, I know he's not going to come down into me, or I know I've got a good pusher. This guy will push me as long as I don't slide on the front of him. I can stay, and we can both work together, and we'll battle this out in the last 8 to 10 laps. We'll battle it out. Then we'll trade paint from there. But it's fantastic to see just the chemistry just form itself on a league where everybody's not 100% sure. I know you're going to slide job me, but there's no slide jobbing anymore. Now it's I need a pusher, and we need to pass cleanly. And it's the chemistry forming in the league is just to me is top notch. It's impeccable. It's hard to find. Random drivers just all of a sudden this thing start working itself out.
Well, I will tell you the draft is what, at least for me, I used to run nothing but asphalt. I was around prior to dirt even being a thing. And then once dirt came out, I pretty much abandoned it. So this is, I'll run one here or there, run an endurance race, but this isn't regular for me. So I'm kind of relearning a lot of this stuff. And the draft has been the biggest thing there. And to the point where my ESW guys kind of put together a list of all the people in the point standings and are keeping track of who they've worked well with. So when they're in a race, they know who to go find. And don't bother passing this guy, just work with him. Or this guy you want to be a little careful around, but if you get some space, he'll work with you, that kind of thing. Like, it's very interesting, and there's strategy to all that to the point where it's getting planned prior to the race even starting. And it's really cool. It's a new element of strategy. I think if we can knock the cautions down about halfway, we're really on to something.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I agree with you. If you can get, I can see 2 cautions. There's going to be a mistake. Getting a solid green flag lap, but that's the one part that what gets me at the super speedways. You guys were messy, and the smaller we're making the track, the cleaner you guys are running is what really blows my mind.
Because they're dirt guys, man.
Well, I think it's partly experience too. We're gaining experience and practice. A couple interesting things. One is you pointing out Bob Light. So I'm not sure you're aware, but Bob Light, we have a road course that we run on Sunday nights.
Right.
And Bob Light has, I think he lost one race. The last 3 seasons, he's won everything. The last season, I think it was, he not only won every race, but he had 2 incidents total for the season. That's on a road course. 2 incidents total. I have
12 races.
I have like 15 or 17 points in one race, of incidents just going off the course. That's,
I was gonna say that's off course.
A guy he's an incredible driver, and he started running when we were doing the Saturday morning stuff and that with us, and he was middle of the pack to the front, but then he adapted. Like there wasn't a big jump for him to learn, and now it's him and McLaren are the dominant forces, and if you're running around Bob, you're going to get run clean every time, and
every time.
Yep, and he if there's a guy that could find his way through a hole, that it's going to be him. The other interesting thing, and you've commented on this in broadcast, is I think we saw it with Salas and I forget who else, but when guys lose control, the recovery, the dirt background helps guys
Yeah.
recover their cars. I think Preston might have been one of those guys in one of those.
Well, Terry did it this past week where he slid it almost
Yep.
all the way around the corner and straightened it up. Everybody missed him, and we just kept going. And there were bunches of guys that even mentioned, "Hey, nice save, nice save." But it just sliding sideways, it's not that big a deal, when you're used to it.
Yeah, or you get on asphalt at 160 miles an hour,
Nah, we're
and then you're trying to when to brake, when to gas. I mean, that takes some talent.
Yes. And that was Isaac, where he had done a 360 and going off the course, and he ended up driving out of it. And it's a fun division, and it's been really good having you on board because I know that's your background, and you've got a lot of good pointers. You had a guy out with you a couple weeks ago. He was a good color guy.
Robert Raider.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. He had some enlightening things to add too. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
he actually comes from the Racing Revolution League. He was the Season 1 champion there, and I brought him in for occasional color guy. Be able to talk because if I've raced with the guys, and this guy's got like another gear. I don't know what's going on, but he can line it up, and I don't know. He won last night from 8th place with 3 to go.
Hey, I finished on the podium from 8th place with 2 to go.
Right.
Took a big wreck, but anyways, I did it. But hey, buddy, we'll have to have you on again. It's great talking to you. You've been a real bonus to the league, and I know the guys appreciate your broadcasts, and we appreciate you stepping up for all the dirt stuff, and you've really been doing a great job picking that stuff up. So,
Yep.
Preston, you got anything you want to add there?
Well, I would usually ask our guest who their biggest rival is, but I feel like that's kind of a weird question to ask a broadcaster. Do you have a rival? Like, is there a company you don't like, or they take your business or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's not a fair question, is it?
I mean, that's my usual. It's not going to work in this case.
But I have my question, and it's your greatest iRacing memory.
Probably my first time racing in the 87s. I raced in the 87s in Talladega, and I've been racing the Cup cars, the trucks. Everything was okay, but for the first time for the 87s in the Talladega, and when I realized I was over 140 miles an hour in third, and then we shifted into fourth, and without the draft, I can touch 215. And the first time I had to let out of the gas to get into a turn at Talladega, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I am on a rocket ship. I ended up winning that race. I came all the way from I think it was 14th. I flossed my way to the front and won that race. Barely, of course. It was a damn McLaren move. Kind of slide to the finish there to get to the end. But man, that was probably the wildest race for me, is getting that one done.
Wow,
I'm gonna have to go get in those cars. I haven't tried them since they came out.
I didn't know they got that fast. Holy crap!
Yeah, especially Talladega. And really, Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually prides himself on the 87s. They've had a lot of pro guys before that used to drive the 87s. I believe Terry Labonte's involved. Bill Elliott was involved in actually saying, nope, the car didn't handle like that. This is how it felt. Or, nope, the car handled more like this. And that is the one they pride themselves on perfecting in iRacing is that 87. Those guys have gotten together, and that's how it felt. So when you're racing the 87 on the Legacy Daytona, and it feels like you're riding over speed bumps, they said that's how it was. So, to me, seeing those guys go 3 wide at a track like that blows my mind.
Yeah, we just need NASCAR to do that with their new car. We'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, that may be for another episode.
Well, I heard on Dale's podcast, I don't know if it was on his podcast or an iRacing one I was listening to, but they're talking about bringing the Pontiac out. So they'll have... it, and they figure it won't really boost sales, but it's that you'll have all the cars that were racing during that era available, and it'll just add the quality to it. So I've just heard that they're hard to handle. I've never really gone down that path, but
that's the thing. Is this one to me, like the next gens, man? I know when I go around the turn, it's like a Sunday drive. There's not really a whole lot of feedback. This thing doesn't battle you. That 87, there isn't 1 second on that track you're not gripping the wheel. oh boy, hold on, and it tries to walk away from you, but just the amount of feedback and amount you feel what the car is doing is just it's like you're in it. I mean, this thing is known that they're not drafting, they're not draft compatible. They don't work well with each other. You get behind somebody, these things start shooting off to the sides and everything else. They're almost they're a standalone car. So you get a super speedway, you're all over the place. But it's definitely something to see. And I know when they came out with the Buick, they started picking up a lot of salespeople, getting into the Buick 87s as well. So seeing them coming out with the Pontiac, I can see that's going to come along. Well, I'm a little nervous about it, seeing what they do coming out with this new Dodges in the next gen series. I don't know, kind of if they're going to change kind of how it drafts heading down the track or whatnot. But we'll have to see. I mean, iRacing's always got surprises for us.
Yeah, well, I just saw today on a post where that's off right now as of today. The NASCAR, the negotiations or something of, I don't know. It might be one of those political things, but who knows. But anyways,
I'm totally in the dark here, so I'm gonna have to go do some research.
Yeah. Anyways, man, it's been great talking to you, and just look forward to your call this coming Tuesday night at Richmond, Preston's track. I think I mentioned in my interview, which Preston obviously didn't watch,
I did not.
That his dad used to drive a tow truck at the NASCAR races there, and his little boy was sitting on the truck or sitting in the. Actually, Preston's got a couple of stories that we'll have to share another time about his experiences at Richmond.
Yeah, some of them I may not be able to share yet. Still, I may be under some sort of NDA or something. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I'll check my paperwork.
Anyways, that Epsilon Sprint Wraps Racing team is highly favored. Going into that race. So
so let's close it with that. And I'm not suggesting you pick anybody from that team. Who you picking for Richmond?
There you go.
Who first?
Huh?
Well, we're asking you.
Oh yeah, well, I'm asking you. I don't get to pick. I'm racing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the iRacing or out there for real?
No, I'm saying next Tuesday we're at Richmond. So who do you got?
Man, like I said, it's hard to say. Bob Light can come out of nowhere, but right now McLaren is on a win streak that I've never seen. This guy is seeming to put it everywhere. He did feel bad about what happened to him and Zach Chapman, so I would probably say Dan McLaren's going to bring it top 3, but winner, I don't know. I think Isaac Salas has one coming, so it might be something. I think you're going to give him a run for his money, but I don't know. I think Isaac Salas is going to have something up his sleeve there for the end.
Well, I'm going to shoot you down there. I'm terrible at managing tire wear, so Tuesday's going to be a struggle for me, but I got a couple of guys on my team that are good at it, so we'll watch out for that.
So now I know I got to change tires. Thanks, Preston. That was one top tip. And my thing's going to be watch out for the salty dogs. That doesn't mean we're going to win. Just watch out for them. We're all over the place.
Okay. I was going to say, it could mean a lot of things. You might want to just leave it on.
I've said before that salty dog logo on the back tailgate is like the triangle on a farm equipment vehicle. Just watch out. Be careful.
It's a hazard sign.
Yeah. Anyways, buddy, it's been great having you on. Really appreciate you taking the time. And this is just like the first broadcast, where 5:00 we said, could you do it? And I think about an hour ago I said, could you come on the broadcast? And here you are.
Made it happen.
Yeah. So thanks for everything you're doing for us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
take
Patrick.
care. So Patrick's a good dude, man. He was like I said in that interview. It was 5:00 the one day. I said, "Do you want to do a dry run tonight?" And he was game, and it was dirt. He'd never done dirt before, so and he's picked up the dirt game pretty good as he's going along. So it's great to have him on board, and just a good team player.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great reason to give him a shout out because our broadcasters run into stuff going on from time to time, and he's always been the guy like, I'll fill in. He hadn't been around too long, but he's jumped at the opportunity. So I mean, it's been great.
Oh yeah,
it makes it easy on you and I really.
This season's been chaos. Like somebody just took out the schedule, just like the broadcast schedule, and just threw it all on the floor, and they're all out there picking up all the pieces, and everything's gotten covered. I think we might have had one dark night. I'm not sure, but I'm not even sure we did. So it's all worked out really, really well. But we wanted just to wrap up a little bit with the World Finals. I'm not going to go into all the details. If you go to c2crl.com, click on the menu at the top, World Finals. It's all there. It's how to sign up and register. It's 3 easy steps, and all the details about the heats. But you have your choice of running the main qualifier. You can run Friday night, the 21st, or Saturday night. Your choice of dates. And then if you don't qualify, we take 6 from that, from each of those nights, those races. And then on Sunday and Monday, you have your choice of your non-qualifier events, and we take another 3 from there. And then we have the whole soup mix and everything else. So it's going to be some exciting times. It's 7 days. So right now, if you sign up before midnight tonight on the Sunday, it's $10 one class, $25 for all 3. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's worth it to get all 3 because the chance of a payout is really, really high. And then after that, it'll be $15 a class, $30 for all 3. And if you're not an Alliance member, if you're not part of Friday Night Lights or Coast2Coast Racing League, then it's going to be $20 per class. There is no early registration. It's $20 per class or $50 for all 3. So if you know somebody that's not in the league but they want to run this, that's what they would pay. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be like 7 days of chaos, 7 straight nights, and good old Patrick, he gets soup night. So all the C, D, E's, and possibly F's will all run on one night. So that's going to be another big challenge. That means like about 9 to 12 sessions that night. So
right.
he'll be going crazy. So it should be a totally fun event, and can't wait for it. And that sign up. That's sign up. Don't wait. And Preston's got that offer. So sign up by Wednesday. If you sign up between today and Wednesday, you got a chance to save on a wrap. And if you can win the whole thing, the wraps are free.
That's right. And you mentioned something about if you got a Dirt Alliance tattoo, you got free entry.
Yeah, if you get a Dirt Alliance tattoo, and depending where you put it, we want to follow.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere we're willing to look at the picture.
Yeah,
that's important.
If you get a Dirt Alliance, we have the artwork. Just send the request to me or Preston or Joe, and we'll send it on. And if you have that artwork done by the weekend, that's free entry. Yeah. For sure.
There we go.
I'll pay the entry.
There you go. You know what? I hate to say it, but I'm not positive somebody's not going to take you up on that. So
there's some crazy guys in this league. There's some real crazy guys in this league. So who knows who will show up? So.
By the way, Roger had not mentioned that at all. I just put him on the spot. I wasn't sure where that was going to go.
But I think that's a great idea. So so you heard it here. If you get a Dirt Alliance tattoo,
I will provide line art so that we'll convert it so you got line art to give your tattoo artist. So we'll see what happens. But hey, do it.
Yeah. And if you get a Coast2Coast tattoo, that's a 1-year free membership. You heard it here first. So that's $50 off your tat, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So,
who wouldn't do that?
This show's going crazy here, man. We're just giving stuff away crazy.
I feel like Oprah right now.
Well, with that, maybe we better get out of here because you don't look like Oprah. But anyways, it's probably.
Well, I'm not going to say anything there. So it's probably a good time to close. So I will say, guys, I know it's been a little inconsistent lately. We mentioned things have been going on. That may still be the case here for the next few weeks. Our intention is to get back to doing this at least every other week, if not every week. It may not be next week. You're just going to have to bear with us. But I promise I'll start letting you know on our Facebook page. I've been a little bit bad about that, just being so busy.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated.
The other thing you mentioned the last broadcast, if you want to come on, just contact us. We are looking for guests and looking forward to meeting a bunch of our league members.
Yeah,
sure.
and I think we got a lot of new ones too, so they may not have seen this before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. With that, we'll see you when we see you. Hopefully that's next week. And
Yep.
like Roger said, make sure you get signed up for that special event.
And for the World Finals, drive safe, everybody. And on Tuesday night too with NASCAR.
Absolutely. 3, 2, 1.
So
We just talked about it.
I know.